In this video, we are going to discuss the crypto market crash that is happening right now and what that means for the NFT market. As usual, if you enjoy this content, make sure that you hit the like button and smash the subscribe button. We really appreciate it. And as always, this is never financial advice. We are not financial advisors. The NFT space is incredibly risky, so do your own research and invest at your own risk. Gentlemen, the crypto market crash, what does it mean? Is this the end for NFTs?
It's done. Pack up your bags. Get the hell out of here. Just like there's no reason. It's over.
I have finally achieved, after 2 years of crypto and 1 year of NFTs, true nirvana. Everything flows. Okay. You can be like rock or you can be like water. Water doesn't complain when it's going downhill. Water doesn't complain when it's resting still. Right? Water's just water. And so I'm like water. So I actually don't mind the action at all. This is actually net good for NFTs. It reminds me of what we saw in May, where crypto, and if you're on the Twitter spaces, you would have heard this from Nick, but crypto, when they make these sharp moves down, you see a pullback in NFTs, even though it's counterintuitive, because you would think, oh, the NFTs are cheaper. But what happens is the crypto crash causes the panic almost. So you get panic selling where people are maybe up 2-3x, but then they see crypto crashing and they're like, oh no, I'm going to lose all my gains. So they panic sell. So you see that naturally. We've seen this cycle happen countless times, but then usually, crypto in a bear market, it kind of does this brutal dive down. Then it kind of chops, retraces, consolidates, then like another dive down. So when it starts to chop and consolidate, then usually the NFTs start to take off again. And the reason why is because not only is the existing community wanting to buy, but a lot of people that are sitting in tokens, it's a psychological effect where they're losing money, or at the very least not making any money. And then they see NFTs doing well. So it becomes a transfer of their storage of value, where they're like, hey, a lot of people think like, hey, okay, if I think Ethereum is going to go down another 20%, I might as well park this Ethereum in some NFTs where it can go up.
Somebody said, M123 said, this just means Kix has money in the bank. And I will tell you, as someone who has money in the bank, that is correct.
That is also correct. That is also correct.
So when you have made money in this space and you've taken money and put it in cash and you're watching it go down, it is somewhat comforting, because I was at a point where I was like, I'm pretty confident that ETH is going to crash. Like that was that has been a thesis on an ongoing basis. I have not called the timeline properly, but that's what I've been anticipating. And in general, if ETH crashes hard, then oftentimes you see the price of the NFTs that you have take a dump. The last time that ETH cratered, we saw Bored Ape Yacht Club. Well, it wasn't ETH cratering. It was a combination of ETH cratering and a post-massive rally. Bored Ape Yacht Club had hit a floor of 70 ETH and then dumped back down to 100K for per NFT. So for a moment there, the Bored Apes were 250. They dropped down to 100K, and you're sitting there holding them. And after going through that, you're saying, what the hell?
You're totally right. And then also, I think that this is just naturally expected too. I mean, like, what was the true run for Mutant Ape Yacht Club?
Up to 16.
Yeah,
it went to 16.
I think it was high. You're talking about on this run?
This is the highest run ever on
Mutant Yacht Club. I think we hit 18 basically.
And where did it start?
I mean, if the bottom was 3.325.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a hell of a run. So, you'd expect some natural pullback there.
It's still the number one seller. So the median sale price that it hit was 18.5, and the floor, it does appear, was not as high. It says 16.5 is what it hit on the floor. I look at median for biggest indicator. Right now, the median is about 15. So we're around the right range right now for these mutants. That said, it's the number one selling project right now.
That's still super impressive.
Yeah. So
MTL agent also had a good point that the crazy speculation or exciting speculation on the M3 serums going for millions of dollars definitely drew a lot of attention to mutants as well. So, that definitely has something to do with it going up. But then we saw Doodles make a big run to 10. Pranksy made a ton of buys there. It's kind of pulled back a little bit, but really not that much. It pulled down to 8, I think. Now it's in the high 8s. So that's holding up fairly well. But usually just positionally, when the blue chips take a run and then they kind of pull back, you start to see some movement in the mid chip range. And I know like Worldwide Weblands, that thing is so hard to say, terrible naming. Great project though. They and then WW3 land sounds like a apocalyptic like
World
end
War
of the
III.
world. Yeah, exactly. So that's not good either.
Damn,
But
this
they're
is
up
up
to
to 1.42. Oh my god!
Wow.
It paper handed this so bad. Oh, that means properties is going to 1. Okay, that's what this means.
No, that's not necessarily true. Worldwide Webland, I saw Richard hanging out in that virtual world on New Year's Eve. So a lot of people aped in. That's when actually I think a lot of the floor action happened. Although, sorry, we didn't let Captain Kicks finish
sorry,
his
man,
thought,
yeah.
but
no, you're good. Go ahead.
one thing to add is that despite the crash, we are still seeing an incredible volume of NFT sales right now on the Nifty, at least the data that's there. And it varies depending on where you get it right now, but we're up to 100 million on my system, which would put it basically already today. And we're halfway through the day at basically where we were at on December 30th for the full day. So, I mean, we could be hitting 150 million again here, 160 million, despite the crypto crash. And I think that is just so bullish for the NFT space. There's no way that this run is dead. We've said that it trickles down from the top. We haven't even seen that really materialize yet. Well, I expect a couple more weeks of this to at least continue on. And more importantly, this whole year is going to be an NFT year as the flood of talent continues to enter into this space. Everyone's selling NFTs.
Yeah. And the only 2 macro bearish things that I see, and there could be unknown unknowns, but the 2 ones that I see is an absolute manacle blow off top, which can happen regardless of any other crypto market conditions. And then 2 is either like an absolutely brutal Ethereum crash, which I don't expect. I think we're just in a bear market, or an absolutely bullish crypto rip, which I don't see happening either, at least for the next month. So then for me, it's like, okay, unless we see just absolute crazy mania where the volume just like hits a Pico top like we did when Mutant Ape Yacht Club launched in August, right? Where it was like just clear trend on the sales volume that we hit like a blow off top. Then I think NFTs general, we're looking clear for the next month, probably at least, because even if Ethereum consolidates in the low 3s, which it looks like it has the potential to, it's going to take a while for it to consolidate there, at least I think, before it moves up. So my guess would be that NFTs are going to have a really good like next month.
I hope so. That'd be amazing. And
That's my feeling as well.
in situations like this, you basically want to hold like some solid stuff. So someone just talked about in the chat, crypto Mories. Shout out to anybody that's been holding crypto Mories for a while, because that project took a while to kind of see that secondary market price appreciation. People have loved it for a long time. I remember at the time of NFT NYC, people had pointed it out to me. It was like
David All said it while we were at dinner, and
Yeah.
he was discussing with us, and he was like, dude, crypto Mories is the next Cool Cats. It still seems early on the price action there if it really is materializing that way. David All was a big fan of Cool Cats. So
and Doodles, David All has a big, I mean, I don't want to put him on spot here, but he made some really good calls. So yeah, I mean, shout out to everybody that's been holding crypto Mories, because the thesis is being realized. Look at that unique ownership. I mean, that's just a lot of bullish signals on the project. Shout out to crypto Mories. Holding stuff like this in market, same thing with Deadfellas, like holding this kind of stuff in this market is crazy. And mint and flip works, but it's not automatic. Like I minted the gunslingers yesterday. That was not the best mint of yesterday. The ducks that Nick minted were the best mint of yesterday. Literally. I mean,
Let's
0.02.
go on those ducks.
What are they on now? Indifferent ducks. What are they at?
I have no idea, but that was a hilarious story that's worth noting and documenting on this channel. So last night, I'm like getting ready to go to bed, and Nick actually hopped in after. Like, so I look in the Discord, and everyone's just saying quack, 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 and I'm like, what the hell is going on in this Discord? So I'm like, what are y'all talking about? And they're like, yo, you don't know about the ducks? And I'm like, no. And so apparently this project had been like around for a month, had not minted out. There were like 250 sold. And at some point, someone in our Discord, I don't know what the original trigger was, but basically they hop in there, share it, and everyone was like, oh yeah, these are great. And the site, when you go to it, it's like well developed. You go through, you hatch an egg, and then you select the properties that you want to use for your NFT, which is really cool. I've seen it done before, but this one was done really well. And I'm like, okay, these look cool. It's 0.02 to mint, plus the gas was 0.02, so 0.04 all in. I'm like, this is pretty cheap, and the art looks like is very good. And there was a team of 5 of them. I went and asked them. I was like, is there some secret person behind this? Because Wagami-san, who only follows like hundreds of people, followed this project. And I'm like, man, an X copy had bought 200 of them or something like that. So I was like, all right, like I don't need more signals. You're muted, Nick.
I think the X copy part may have not been that true, or it was people were arguing whether it was true or not in our Discord.
Okay.
I'm not sure. It may, but multiple people are now saying that X copy was following them. So that's definitely
following them. That may have been the case. Okay.
Yeah. So those are some really bullish indicators. When I got in, Nick was like, "This is absolutely gonna lose this money," which is smart because any sort of like random degen play, you need people to like mentally go in knowing like we don't have no idea what we're doing here. This could not work out or work out. But I think the most exciting thing is that you and the rest of the Discord got in under 500 mints. I mean, that's super, super early.
Crazy.
A lot of people strategically like don't make bets on mints until they're after in the thousands, like 2,000, or a lot of people wait for like half to mint and then they go in. So to get in that early is awesome.
There's only
you started the train.
There's only one way to view it. Like I
started the train,
tweeted it and said that is this the next Bored Ape? I don't know, but it could be. Like, that's like a ridiculous thing. Someone responded. They were like, this is this is irresponsible to be posting these types of tweets. And I'm like,
and you're like, was it?
It's a joke. But more importantly, you made 3 or 4x, so you're welcome right out the gate. And
also, I don't know if we saw, but Ryan Sutherland donated us $69.99. One of our biggest supporters. Thank you so much, Ryan. Says always diversify. Fiat business fund, crashing market buys. So yeah, just always diversify no matter what you're in. If you're in crypto, have some NFTs, have some cash.
We have a fiat business. We're aping into NFTs. That's the way that it goes. But in terms of Anthony said one other thing as well, which I really liked, which is NFTs are the new coin, basically better than Bitcoin. That is true. And even Pio agrees with that. I've heard him recently more saying that he's less bullish on Bitcoin than he was, and that he will stop purchasing.
Wait, what?
I'm just saying that.
No.
So let's move on to the next project.
Making that up.
Let's
Trying
move
to
on to
catch
the next
me not paying attention.
He said ever since the dip yesterday that he now has become a little more paper-handed and is skeptical that this thing, Bitcoin, has real legs.
Yeah, I think there's no argument that in NFTs, if you know what you're doing in a bull market like this, is the best way to make money pretty much on the planet.
I think so too.
I can't think of many other opportunities where you can just absolutely slay some insane gains. You know what I mean? Once again,
slay them gains.
You have to be good. You have to be in a good market. But if you're good and be in a good market, and there's a lot of people out there that are absolutely incredible at this. I mean, you can run up some really big stacks, you know, so
Insane stacks.
it's the place to be.
Stacks
Yeah,
on stacks on stacks, as they say.
I have a secret goal for trading for this year, and it's like when you start racking up like 1.5 ETH profits on stuff. Like I had one project that I racked up almost an ETH 1.5 profits on the other day with one trade. That's like $5,000 profit, and so all of a sudden, like you can really start racking up, like just making a dent in any kind of goal that you have. So I guess what projects are you?
Chaos.
And
What
I
pro-
actually didn't know I have a 130, so I'm gonna have to bounce. I'm sorry about this, but my two big plays right now, because for me, I'm not having as much bandwidth to be as a on the pulse trader as I'd like to be.
We're
So
seeing
for
that in
me,
real time.
we're seeing that in real time. So for me, strategically, and this is actually a Web 2 call. I'm trying to wrap up some old things in my life. The I'm making just like big bets on high conviction plays where I don't have to worry about like needing to get in and out of them in 24 hours. So like my two biggest bags right now are Links DAO and properties.
Yeah.
I think Links DAO is a little bit of a lower risk kind of long-term play. I think properties is a little bit more of a higher risk, but potentially higher upside play that's very much contingent on what they do with their utility token and then like what access that gives you to buy more digital assets. But those are my two highest conviction early 2022 plays where I can put some money in and not be like checking the floor price every 30 minutes.
Yep. And I agree with properties, and have a good call, Nick. Always great to
Yeah,
kick
sorry
it
about
with
that.
you, man.
Yeah.
Always great to have you on the show. Love having you as a guest. Really, come back anytime there, Captain Kicks.
So
Yeah,
properties,
you're muted.
you're muted.
Don't fire Captain Kicks. Put that in the chats if you don't want them to get rid of it.
Would never. Come on now. So properties would be on, like, if we did a best NFTs to buy right now video, I would put properties on there in this range. So we've seen it run from 0.039, which was its rock bottom, to 0.13 here. Full disclosure, I have a bag. I have 9 of them that I minted, or I minted 8 and I bought.
0.13. What the hell?
Yeah, it's coming back, buddy. So the all-time high for floor price was a quarter ETH, and that was in the pre-reveal pump. I have 9. I minted 8, and I bought 1 on the secondary. I think that this thing, it's a metaverse play. It's like a proper metaverse play with a legitimate team. I think what led to the floor cratering was no news and no communication publicly from the team. I mean, that'll do it, But the team's been talking. They've been doing AMAs on Discord. They've been doing AMAs on Twitter.
What insight has come out of those? That's
They're
the only
hiring, they're partnering with sick, nasty people that come from Minecraft and from other like metaversey brand name, projects.
what
Someone
does
said
that
I
mean though?
flooded doodles. What did I flood doodles? What are you talking about? Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Nick.
I don't understand. So they came on stage and said they have big partnership plans. Like,
Basically, I mean, I need to get more info, but I'm happy that the floor is moving up. It's a metaverse play, man, with a legit team. It's going to just keep going up, in my opinion. Not financial advice. I own a big bag. I could sell my whole bag right now and be very well in the green, but I'm holding it.
interesting. Yeah. So I made money on properties. I made a decent amount. I think I made a couple of ETH, to be completely honest.
You crushed
And
it.
yeah, and I also hit the lotto with that Jesus one. But it's hard. I wish I'd gotten in at the 0.03. It's tough here. I want to do something else real quick and bring up some technicals, because this is the thing. I realize we're all over the place with this, but this is what I'm sort of looking at, which is the macro side of things, which I think is relevant uh, as it applies to this space. So there's two things that I'm looking at right now. We just saw way back. Here's
Want me
what
to
I'm
go big?
watching. This is where we dipped in a major way. And what I'm thinking now is, at a minimum, we're going to retest this. Every single drop, you got to retest. As you can see here, we wick down. You always come back to that at a minimum. What you're looking for there is, though, validating the fact that that is indeed a floor. In all of the drops that I've seen, major drops like this, you come down here and you say, "Oh, was this the bottom?" Nope, retest. Nope, retest. Basically, even on the wick, and most people don't use the wicks; they use this component of it. But this bottom is retested again on the next one, retested again on the following week. So that's usually what you're getting there. We have not hit a bottom yet in terms of this retest. So I'm waiting to see what happens. And it's too early to call the bottom. Ben in our Discord was saying 3,300 ETH was what he was looking at. I'm thinking even as low as 3,000. But each person has their own thoughts. If it goes below 3,000, then look out below. But that's sort of what we're watching right now. This is the level that we're supporting. Maybe this becomes the new bottom. It's impossible to say, but you're looking. Unfortunately, these markets do not work that quickly. When it drops, though, it does drop. But I thought this was useful to just share in context as it applies to like what this means for NFTs. Because if you're saying, hey, is the NFT market dead? No. We're seeing the volume continue. And that's the most bullish thing we can see as this drops. NFTs are here to stay. The real thing, though, is for people that are entering the space and have less money, they're saying, hey, like they're watching their USD dollar value of their portfolio decrease and they're getting concerned. Rule number one, when you're in ETH NFTs, you got to just operate on an ETH basis. Otherwise, you're going to drive yourself crazy counting the money that you have and the money that you don't. You're thinking too short term if you're operating on a USD basis. Your goal is to accumulate ETH and do that over the coming year or two. That's how you should be operating for that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this goes down. I'm ready for this to drop very low. Even if we saw a retracement down to 1,800, even if we saw it go down further, I'm okay with that. And you should be in a position where you are okay with those dips and ready to add more. That's the bottom line. And if you're not, and if you're watching your NFT portfolio and looking at the price of Bored Apes, because you have a few of them, I was in that space. I had two. And don't get me wrong, I think they're going to go back. They're going to go up to 500,000 or more. 500,000 has been my target for a very long time. I said before I was going to sell. I got the equivalent of that on a tax basis, something like that. Maybe a little less, actually. But the main point is, if you're feeling that uncomfortable, you may have too much risk on the table, and that's something to consider. So outside of that, you should be able to get to a position where these dips don't even matter to you. And once you're at that place, you're going to be able to operate within the NFT space with much more confidence and clear mind. So that's where you want to be. So that's my thought on that. That's my share on that front.
I feel like you sounded like me there. So I was surprised to hear that, Nick. You've achieved this new level of Zen. But if I'm going to give my perspective on that, it's like Nick's absolutely right. So you want to have like real conviction in the assets that you hold. It's harder to do that with NFTs because so many NFTs that are in our portfolios came out like in the past month. And it's just a image representing ownership of like, a brand that's brand new. And it's hard to tell whether it's going to appreciate. I think if you're participating in the NFT space, the number one thing would be to get genuine, true, high conviction that comes through study and understanding of the cryptocurrency assets that foundationally support the NFT ecosystem. So when I say that, right, for me personally, that came in the form of Bitcoin. And for anybody, I recommend that you just learn what Bitcoin is, why it's important, and truly understand it so that you have the conviction in there. A lot of NFT people are like Ethereum, Ethereum, Ethereum. I've come to understand why Ethereum has genuine value. And I have now, quite frankly, a similar level of conviction in Ethereum that I do in Bitcoin. So I'm just very comfortable holding it, right? And so when you get to this point, this causes you to get excited when there's a dip and you almost get pissed when it goes up because you never feel like you have enough, And so that's why playing in the crypto and NFT space is such a beautiful thing, because in theory, when the crypto space goes down, the NFTs go up because they're priced in the crypto assets and vice versa. So it's kind of a way for you to like always win, because when one goes up, the other goes down. But when the other one goes down, the other goes up. So once you start getting that rhythm and getting familiar with that, you can start playing them against each other and end up really racking it up. The problem comes when you don't understand what the hell you're holding. You don't understand understand why you are, and Nick asked me to turn off his screen for a second. You don't understand why you're holding like, okay, I don't know what Nick is asking me to do. My bad. Anyway,
I was sharing my screen and I was saying, can you put on my screen? You were sharing your thing, but anyways.
You got Fiat Lux also pulled up.
Yes, I was discussing that, but go ahead. Finish your thought.
The finish
Continue.
is get high conviction through like 100 hours of research into Bitcoin and or Ethereum and start there. And once you have that and you have that genuine conviction to the point that when it goes down, you get excited because you can buy more for a better price. Just like if your favorite clothing brand had a big sale. And when it goes up, you get kind of pissed because you're like, well, I don't have enough, and now it's more expensive for me to buy it. So Nick right here has Fiat Lux pulled up. I have a Fiat Lux. Do you have any?
No. And someone was saying, here was my biggest issue. Someone said metaverse ready avatars. That statement as a thesis to me
Everything is a metaverse ready avatar.
Is a bad one. Only because, well, like Pieta said, everything is a metaverse ready avatar. But like, there's not a friction point today on being able to buy things, and a avatar from that standpoint is just fashion. So the real question is I'm not interested in the fashion of it necessarily. I'm interested in who's building those actual platforms, and that's where I would be investing most of my stuff, and or a team that's absolutely dominating with it. I did not get into Fiat Lux. I had the it pulled up a second ago on OpenSea, but the floor is done decently since. Actually, what was the mint price?
Mint was high. It was 0.12, but they made a mistake when it minted. So there was immediate FUD and you could have bought in at 0.08/0.09. Guess what? That's always what you want to do. If it is a legit project at all, and it's not like, potentially a rug pull, like you have no idea what's going on, like this one is pretty legit. You buy that dip after the FUD. We've seen it so many times. It happened with gutter cats. It's always better to buy that dip after the FUD. So take that as a lesson, is when everyone else is panicking about the dip, that's probably a good time to buy, as long as it's a legitimate project. I'm not talking about if it's like a rug pull, right? But yeah.
I mean, in general, wait, that was weird. I clicked on one for the image, but it's showing a placeholder when I get there.
You might have to refresh metadata. That's been happening with this a lot.
Okay, so that's an OpenSea issue. So yeah, this is an interesting situation that that's an interesting bug. Look, the cards look cool. They look neat. I don't know what it means. Metaverse ready avatar, like Meebits were a metaverse ready avatar.
All avatar projects are metaverse ready.
Well, that's debatable. Like, not all of them have the 3D version, but that's not like a massive hurdle to like doing it. It's like, okay, great, but they're a design team. So Janky Heist, someone said, is another example of one. I love Janky Heist. Someone said the jetpacks are being sold for 4 to 5 E. You're talking about J2 jetpacks in that case.
Yeah.
Metaverse
ready.
This isn't just buying for the metaverse, though. There's some other stuff associated with this.
What did Allison call these at? She called these at like 0.6.
Well, no, what was bigger was her calling the hoverboards. This is where she was saying you're going to want to buy these. These were at like 0.1 when she was calling them, or 0.15. So yeah, I don't know the utility of all these, but there's some bigger vision with a lot of these that people are buying into. Look, these are all great projects. If you have them in your portfolio, congratulations. I don't think there's anything wrong with holding on to Fiat Lux. We're going to see more and more high quality projects in this space. If you're looking for the flip, that is a harder thing to call. And some of the better projects that are, that have great teams, they are longer term thinking. So you want to find those that you hold on to now and they provide you utility in the interim. There's only a few projects I can think of, rhymes with Swifty Alpha, and that would be one of them that I'd recommend, that provides you interim utility. But outside of that, not to toot our own horns, but Yeah, no. If you know, if you know, you know, right?
If you know, you know.
If you don't know, hop in the
Go F
Discord and get
yourself.
on the whitelist. Today's the last day that I'm doing for this whitelist thing. Okay.
Whitelist is over, guys. Might want to join.
Someone said, when is it coming out? It's supposed to be next Thursday. There may be a day for investors to mint, and then I think we're gonna have community minting. I'm thinking Friday through like Monday or something like that, and then do the public sale that next week. But I don't know. We'll have a final thing. We keep adjusting the time, but it's really based on when we code. So, and we're busy doing this show as well. So it's a combination of juggling all those different things. But we love y'all, and hope y'all love us back by buying one NFT. Come on, man, just one. Get on the whitelist. Anyways, I got nothing else to share as it applies to this. The synopsis, though, in my mind, is that NFTs are dead. The market is over. Pack it up and go home. And hey, thanks for riding with us on this journey.
Do it. And as usual, subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. Like the videos and check out the Twitter Spaces show that happens Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern time on Twitter.
Smash that subscribe, lick that like. What are y'all doing? Get on it. NFTs are not dead, Moshi said. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I do want to make a correction. They're not dead. They're going to be here. But if there was any confusion for someone watching this video, NFTs are the future. We're living in the future right now. This is the future of creativity. It's a renaissance. And if you want to know how to get on the whitelist, it's very easy. thenifty.com/Discord. Go hop in the Discord. Today's the last day. You want to pin that up there real quick, Pio?
Absolutely. There's the Discord.
Ooh, someone said we should make a baking show and say lick that like. That's a good idea. We can make bake a cake of a like and lick it and eat it.
I'm all about food related programming, so don't be surprised if over time the Nifty expands into cooking related content that somehow is tied in with NFTs. Like me and Pablo from Robatos will just, make something from Spain,
There's the Discord right there. I'm pointing at it. Pio is going to be able to point at it better. He's struggling to do it. There we go. There we go. That's where you're going to want to go. All right, y'all. Have a great day. We appreciate you.
All right, great show. See you guys later.